you love soft, thick, gooey cookies and you love Nutella, these are for you. What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make thick Nutella stuffed New York style cookies. I used to dream about the giant cookies that you see all over social media from New York, those massive chunky cookies that are crisp on the outside and gooey in the middle. And when I finally visited New York, I got to try the famous Levain Bakery cookies. So these cookies are inspired by that trip and they are everything that I wanted them to be. They're thick, they're soft, they're gooey in the center, and they are packed with Nutella. It's always tricky getting cookies to stay nice and thick when you stuff them, but I am so happy with how these turned out. So let's get into it. First up, we need to get our Nutella centers ready by freezing blobs of Nutella. This makes stuffing the cookies so much easier. So I've lined my tray here with baking paper. Make sure you use a tray or a plate that does actually fit in your freezer. You don't want to scoop on your Nutella and then realize that it won't fit. Just use a tablespoon or a small cookie scoop like this one to dollop 9 tablespoons of Nutella onto the baking paper. You can tell it's warm in my kitchen because my Nutella is melty. And then dollop it onto my baking paper. I really like using my mini cookie scoop because it's less messy and it gives you nice even blobs. Now we're just gonna pop these in the freezer. You want them to be completely frozen. This helps them to keep their shape and stops them oozing out the sides too much when baking. I usually freeze mine for at least 30 to 60 minutes or even overnight if I'm prepping ahead. Now let's get started on our cookie dough. So grab a large mixing bowl and you're gonna add in unsalted butter. This should be softened to room temperature so it mixes in easily. Now you're gonna add in light brown sugar and granulated sugar. The brown sugar gives the cookies that chewy texture and adds a slight caramel flavor, while the white sugar helps them crisp up on the edges. The combination of these two sugars creates the perfect flavor and texture. Now using an electric hand mixer or a stand mixer, beat these together until light and creamy, around 2 to 3 minutes. Perfect, so you want to really cream the butter and sugar together here to make sure there are no lumps left. Now you're gonna add in 1 large egg. This needs to be at room temperature so it combines smoothly into the dough. No shell. You're also gonna add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract for a nice vanilla-y taste. I'm going with 2 teaspoons in these because I really wanna taste the vanilla. 1, 2. I'm sure that was accurate. Grab your electric mixer again and you're just gonna whisk these in until smooth. Now you're gonna add in plain flour, also known as all-purpose flour if you're in the US. Then you're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda or baking soda if you're in the US. NYC Cookies are a balance between rise and spread. The bicarbonate of soda helps with the spread and the chewiness and the golden color, and the baking powder helps with the height, softness, and thickness. In goes the baking powder. In goes the bicarbonate of soda. We're also gonna be adding in a teaspoon of salt. I always like to add salt to my cookie dough. It brings out the chocolatey flavor and balances the sweetness, and it just makes the cookies taste even better. Now swap your electric mixer for a rubber spatula or a wooden spoon, and you're gonna mix in the dry ingredients until it just combined. Try not to overmix at this stage. You should still have a few streaks of flour left. There we go. So the dough should be super thick. We want it to be sturdy enough to hold our Nutella filling without collapsing. Now for the chocolate chips, I'm adding in 200 grams as I want these cookies to be super chocolatey, but you can add more or less depending on how chocolatey you want them to be. I love using dark chocolate chips that are about 50% cocoa because it gives a nice balance of richness without being too bitter. You could also chop up a chocolate bar and add in some chunks for those big melty pools of chocolate as well. Now just fold the chocolate through the dough until they're evenly distributed and there's no streaks of flour left. Now our blobs of Nutella are frozen solid, we can start building our cookies. So grab a large non-stick cookie sheet. This is the one I'm gonna be baking our cookies on, but you also need to make sure that this fits in your fridge as we're gonna be chilling them first. So if it doesn't, just find something smaller, then you can always transfer them onto your cookie sheet later when it comes to baking them. So you're gonna scoop up a generous amount of cookie dough. I like to weigh mine to make sure they're all the same size. You want about 100 grams per cookie. That's too much. And it sounds like a lot, but trust me, these are meant to be big and chunky. So you're just gonna weigh these all out and roll them into 9 balls. Grab your Nutella from the freezer and you're gonna take off 1/3 of the dough, and you're basically just gonna press it into a little disc, and this is gonna be the base of your cookie. And then with the rest of the dough, you're gonna press it into a rough cup shape that's gonna be big enough to cover your Nutella. Then place 1 blob of frozen Nutella in the center, then place the cookie dough over the top, and you're just gonna seal the edges like a little parcel. Make sure the Nutella is fully enclosed so it doesn't leak out while baking. There we go, perfect. So I'm just gonna repeat this with the rest of the cookie dough until we have our 9 cookies. Now our cookies are stuffed, I'm gonna press some more chocolate chips into the top. This is totally optional, but I just think it makes them look better and it makes them even more chocolatey. Also, I like to put these all near the center of the cookie dough because they will spread in the oven and then the chocolate chips will just naturally spread out to the edges. Now you're gonna pop your cookies in the fridge for at least an hour, but for the thickest cookies, chill the cookie dough overnight. I know it's hard to wait, but it actually makes such a difference. The cookies spread less and the flavor develops more. They'll still taste amazing if you only chill them for an hour. They might just come out slightly flatter.
1 eternity later.
Just before you're ready to bake your cookies, preheat the oven to 190 degrees or 170 degrees C if you have a fan oven. Fahrenheit will be on screen. Now you want to spread your cookies evenly out on your cookie sheet, at least 2 to 3 inches apart. These, as you can see, are big cookies and they will spread slightly. So you just want them to be far enough apart so when they bake, they don't stick together. So you're gonna bake these in the oven for about 9 to 11 minutes or until the edges are golden and the tops are just starting to set. They should still look soft in the middle, and that's what gives you that gooey center and keeps the cookies soft when cooled. If you overbake them, they will be too hard and crispy once they've cooled down, so don't overbake. Our cookies are now out of the oven and I've let them cool slightly. This bit is actually really important. You need to let the cookies cool on the tray for at least 20 minutes before moving them. They'll continue to cook slightly, and if you try to move them too soon, they will just fall apart. I swear one of the hardest parts of this entire recipe is the waiting, especially when you have freshly baked cookies in front of you, but it is worth the wait, I promise. So let's take a look inside. I'm gonna break one open so we can see the gooey Nutella middle inside. I am a mess already. Let's do a taste test. That is so good. The cookie is so soft and the outer shell is still nice and crisp. The chocolate chips add a really nice richness to it, and the Nutella in the middle is just so gooey and melted and amazing. Literally dropping it everywhere. You honestly can't beat a warm stuffed cookie. So that is how you make thick Nutella stuffed NYC cookies. They're big, they're gooey, they're chocolatey, and they're really easy to make. Let me know if you give them a go. I'd love to hear how they turn out. Drop a comment below if you want to see more NYC style cookie flavors, maybe something peanut buttery or even Biscoff next, or even pistachio. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Didn't really work, did it?